I'm not gonna lie. I've been friends with Brian for 10 years, and if Brian transitioned into a girl and we're still hanging out, it wouldn't be the same.
Maybe you're not as forgiving as Mr. Beast.
I would still be your friend, but I would think that you would have mental problems.
No, I definitely would. I would be mentally ill.
I thought you were gonna say I would just think you would want other friends.
Dude, if I transition, what if I transition to a girl and I let you hit?
Oh God,
Brian
is a degenerate. All right, let's get our energy out. Stop, please.
Yeah, guys.
Hold your applause to the end.
Come on. We know that Dog Party is the best podcast on YouTube.
It's crazy to be a part of it.
It's as if it were like your life dream.
Dude, you know,
All 273 people watching you right now. Are you nervous?
when I like told my mom what I was doing, she was just like, wow, I can't believe my son grew up to be this. It's crazy that in the past month of July, I mean, Dr. Disrespect, y'all have talked about already, but you have CodyKo, Kris, or Ava Tyson, and they're all like situations are all like pretty different, but like same, like how they're
same, but different.
We're 24, me and Wyatt, and I don't know if I have any like 18-year-old friends that I hang out with or talk to.
Yeah.
Like the youngest like friends I have are maybe like 21 or 22.
Exactly.
In this video, I'm addressing Kris Tyson. He works for Beast, aka the biggest YouTuber on the planet. Or at least he used to anyway, I don't know. And we're reacting to a YouTube upload where this guy puts together some pretty crazy stuff about this guy, Kris Tyson. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because a couple months back when everything was nuts on Twitter, this guy Kris had a lot to say about me. Always stay true to yourself.
I think he's just playing into like the manly man archetype.
So he's not in an actual helicopter.
Nah, I think he's just...
What are you talking about?
He's just cosplaying a helicopter.
What are you talking about? He's wearing a headset.
Yeah, but I thought maybe he was like doing a tour or something.
No, he just...
Why are you so mad?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are kind of being a little sassy.
Yeah, I mean, even Brian thought it might be a helicopter. Like standing in front of him.
No, I didn't. I knew it wasn't a helicopter.
Okay, now you're just leaving me in the dust.
But you were being a little sassy.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm being sassy. I think you've just said a lot of stupid shit.
You need to drink your whiskey soda, okay? Because this is bullshit.
You think that's whiskey?
I don't know, what is it? Tequila?
Sass on you.
I mean, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Jesus Jeepers.
I'm only watching this shit because this motherfucker was talking mad shit. In my opinion, for no reason. Had an awful lot to say and then deleted every goddamn tweet that ever existed from his account.
Now, for those of you who don't know, longtime friend of Mr. Beast, Kris Tyson, has recently been called out for numerous disgusting actions. One such video made by Aatrox has gone viral, detailing Chris's really gross and disgusting infatuation with lolly content, which for those of you who don't know, lolly content is basically sexualized art based off of young children. And another video made by Prism, which hasn't been picked up by many people yet, details Kris Tyson's very weird and unsettling interactions with a child who was 7 years.
I'm gonna pause and say some things throughout the video. Like, imagine even knowing what that content means. What the fuck?
What kind of
God, man? Like, what?
I think it's depictions of young girls, but they're like technically adults. So they say like these girls they draw are 18, but they draw them like they're 4 years old, or like above the age of like 18.
What I heard is that they're actually vampires, so they're like 10,000 years old.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So yeah, they say they're
Wait,
so that's
what?
way above the age.
No, so they draw they
draw them as vampires.
They draw these girls as these young girls.
They draw a girl who is 18 as a 4-year-old.
Yeah, as a 4-year-old,
Yeah,
but they say they're above the age of 18. The context
they're
is
depicting that they're 20, but they look like they're 15.
like younger, like 10,
Yeah,
6.
gross.
So that's what. But they like rationalize it, saying like, oh, this is not a kid because they're technically like 20 or 1,000 or 10,000 years in the story, but you're drawing them like they're 4 years old.
Yeah.
Let's tip the curtain a little bit. The artist that he liked, this Kris gal, this Kris gal, the artist that he liked drew an actual 8-year-old who was 8 years old and somebody's daughter, and the dad got obviously pissed off about it. So
He's
that's
drawn.
gross.
He's He's like drew like multiple people too. I think he talks about it in this video.
Now, to summarize Kris Tyson's infatuation with lolly content, I have to first preface the fact that any grown adult that shows interest in art depicting this of children is a complete weirdo, because recently on the internet it's somehow now a controversial take to say that. Now, for those who don't know, years ago Kris Tyson basically had an infatuation with a controversial artist known as Shadman, and this Shadman person is known across the internet.
Dude, his character he drew is a Nazi. He drew his character. It's a Nazi. It's a Nazi with a skull. This guy's not good at all.
Yeah, what?
He drew a Nazi as his persona, and he draws little girls.
Yeah,
God, I mean, he's the most evil son of a bitch in the world.
For creating art based off of actual children and depicting them being sexualized or abused. Such examples include when Shadman made art of Keemstar's daughter at the time being 7 years of age, sucking Donald Trump off back in 2016 when he had just won the election. In the same year, Shadman made more disgusting art of Lieutenant Corbis, who was an 11-year-old commentary YouTuber. Another instance involved Shadman in 2017 making extremely gross comments regarding the actor Daphne Keane, who played in Logan. Keep in mind, she was 12 years old at the time, and Shadman decided to create art of her being molested and brutalized. Now, as a result, Shadman received a cease and desist from Daphne Keane's lawyers, and despite this happening, he still continued to make disgusting comments regarding more children, such as Liev Schreiber's 7-year-old son, who did a Harley Quinn cosplay. Now, keep in mind, despite all the disgusting f***ing shit that Shadman did, following the drama, Kris Tyson still decides to openly brag about financially supporting him and his website, showing that he literally purchased—
Why is this guy even around? You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at with this stuff. I don't see any place for it in this world or the next. This is beneath the prison for me.
Suggestive art of a young girl with a BD tattoo on her thigh. The same image as well was proudly put up on his wall, with it being visible in Mr. Beast's old video where he was even looking at the image directly. Despite as well all the drama involving Shadman drawing art based off of actual children back in 2016 and
Why would you have like a picture of art of that on your wall for
I-
people to see? Like, do people not like come over to hang out and just be like, dude, what the f-?
Yeah. And
Wait,
Mr. Beast is sitting there going, interesting photograph. Nice.
Wait, so that was Chris's house with the photograph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's fucking weird.
Like
Yeah, I
if
agree.
I came into your house and you had like a drawing, weird sexual cartoon drawing on your wall, just be like, you good, homie? Like,
Right? Like,
what are you doing?
I mean, there's no way to do that ironically, right?
no, it's on your wall. Like,
I mean,
that would take a lot of effort to just.
Yeah.
we bullied Wyatt for putting his like days without smoking on his wall. Imagine what would happen if he like had some like cartoon art on his shit.
Shut up, guys.
He brings the chick home and she's like, look at it. It's like 1 day off drugs. Oh, I'm out. I'm bouncing. Sorry, dude.
It seems like you have a problem that you have one day. Like, you get a
Constantly 1 day.
yeah. You got a line for like 90.
2017, we can still see Kris Tyson openly engage with Shadman's account, asking him to draw 18+ content of Beast Boy, and even engaging with a post showing Shadman's cropped art of Caillou.
You know, I don't want to drag Beast too much into this shit, you know? Like, I don't really want to say a whole lot, but I will say that he came out and defended this Kris guy when Kris had said some shit about me on Twitter. Hey, look, man, all right, you know, but with that kind of influence and that kind of responsibility, you better come out and do the same damn thing now, because this is ridiculous. I can't believe it.
Being molested by his mother. And keep in mind, Caillou is a 4-year-old boy canonically in the show, and Ava was in her 20s engaging with this content. Even back in 2017, Kris Tyson was engaging with gross art on Twitter, depicting Maple and Dipper from Gravity Falls being two 12-year-old siblings making out, with her making a tweet under it stating how, quote-unquote, they're twins, so at that point, it's just masturbation, right guys? You know, classic Ava Kris Tyson making comments regarding art of two children being in a romanticized incestuous relationship. Kris was even in her 20s claiming that Violet from The Incredibles, being canonically a 14-year-old girl, was quote-unquote cute. And even another instance where Kris Tyson was seen liking a tweet of a lucky girl clothed, with a creepy image of a guy taking a picture right next to it. Now, as Adrox has perfectly stated in his video, Kris Tyson knew very well the context of this image, because there is art of this exact lucky girl fully naked online. And with Kris Tyson being the gooner that she is, she liked this tweet because she understood this degenerate reference.
Calling it
Anyways,
she
now
and
that
shit,
we have
man.
covered the first half of the drama, I'd like to first thank Adrox for cohesively putting together this entire situation with all the necessary
Sorry, I thought he was about to like shout out a sponsor right there. It's like, now after we covered all this drama, I want to thank Manscaped. I was like,
Escape.
I want to thank Manscaped.
screenshots. Now, the second part I want to discuss was a video made by Prism that I saw a couple days ago, and it detailed Kris Tyson's inappropriate interactions with a minor when she was 7 years older than them. Now, this minor goes by the name of Lava, and they were born in November of 2003, with Kris Tyson being born in July of 1996.
It's not like a debatable thing. This is an issue.
Now, screenshots provided by Prism show how Kris offered
'Cause
Lava
people will still try to
moderation
defend
terms for
this
her
shit.
streams.
They're
This
gonna
was when
fucking
Lava was
defend it.
14 at the time, with Kris being 21, and this was during 2018. In the same year, Kris
This guy Beast came out and said Ava is a great father to his 2-year-old boy. That's what he said on Twitter to me. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care how much money you got, how much power you think you got. Dog, don't speak to me that way. Are you out of your fucking mind? He's got his 2-year-old boy in heels that fit. There's a concern here. And if there isn't for you, then you are part of the problem. It's not okay. It's not healthy. It's weird now.
Tyson makes a tweet stating
Yeah,
how
Mr.
one more
Beast.
Patreon donation they get and they're releasing their nudes. Now, Lava at the time, who is 14, sends them a $1 donation with the caption calling them a pig boy, and then Kris replies with, "But not $5, pathetic. Just kidding, kissing face." And then Lava at him again and says, "Check again." And Kris Tyson responds,
I don't even want to watch the rest of this, man. I'm getting like, you know?
"I posted some fire nudes for you, please no
Yeah, you don't have
share.
to watch
Like,
it.
why are you making this joke with someone who's 7 years fucking younger than you?" Now, in the next year in 2019, it shows that Kris Tyson and this minor had
And by the way, I never really looked into this, but I had people tagging me. Like I said, I didn't really follow the breadcrumb of tweets. But apparently, this dude, Chris's girl, came out and defended him, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if that's a firm yes or firm no, but apparently she was tweeting, like, I don't know who this Nick Merckx guy is and what he's saying about our fucking relationship and our family. Okay, let me get a little revisit on that. Can we circle back? Let's get a nice little circle back, right? Like, I don't want to throw shit at your fucking door. I'm not really trying to, like, drag you through the dirt. If you want to go toe-to-toe and you want to say things like that, let's circle back and let's revisit those comments about how great your family is. Because surely the landscape is a little different now, huh?
That's a good point, right? Because look what's happening now.
Right.
The fact that she said that and then all this shit's happening, yeah, it doesn't seem like your family's doing all that good.
I think honestly, it's just really confusing. All of it. What confuses me,
The gender thing is confusing me.
Yeah.
Husband, wife, he, she, Chris, Ava,
Yeah.
fucking penis, vagina.
well, the confusing is the family dynamic. So
Does a vagina really confuse you? Because I can explain it. There's a whiteboard in the other room.
but Chris transitions, and then his wife defends him. I'm like, I just don't. That family dynamic already confuses me.
Yeah.
Like how so he leaves her because he wants to be a girl, but she goes and defends him, and then all this shit comes out. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I think, honestly, the biggest question is, does this affect Mr. Beast? All of this.
No,
Not long term.
not long term.
Even short term. Because,
maybe a little, but not long.
Maybe a little bit because he has to put time and energy into it.
right.
But he's not going to lose money over it. If anything, his next video is going to get the most views out of all of them.
I would say this. I think so. I mean, we go back to like the '08 financial crisis. You have the term of like too big to fail.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Beast is at the point where he's too big to
Too
fail.
big to fail.
Yeah.
And so it would damage his reputation a little bit, but he would still be, like, the only way for him to fall would be like if he was actively doing pedophilia.
extremely weird, first of all, and second of
It
all,
ain't
Lava shows
staying
a weird
focused. I
snap
gotta
they
keep
received from Kris
focused.
Tyson, showing her stating, "I'm coming for America," which, joke or not, how the hell is this suitable to send to a minor who is 7 years younger than you when you're a grown adult?
I don't know.
It's
he said
just
that to a
not,
minor.
so, yeah.
More screenshots show the weird names they would call each other, and then the weird memes that they would share with one another, with Lava stating, "Chris, practice with this tomorrow," showing an image of a banana, like it's pretty easy to know what he's referencing with this. And then Kris Tyson responds with an image of James Charles and states, "Lava's mum tomorrow," so once again making more degenerative jokes to a legitimate child who who is
It's 14-year-old humor.
I get it. That's 14-year-old humor that doesn't interrupt the fact that he was a creep with all the other stuff.
No
going on.
doubt. But I mean, he was 20 years old.
I mean,
He's immature.
We're 24 and we wouldn't do shit like that.
no, I'll say so.
We would do shit. We would send memes like that to each other, but not to a 14-year-old when we were 20.
I know. I
If-
think
if-
honestly, he blocked that out. That he was just on a server and he.
If our buddy was texting any 14-year-old and it wasn't even inappropriate, we'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing about. So I was a camp counselor at the age of 19, and I had 12 and 13-year-old kids. There were strict boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like.
You don't joke around
I-
like that
we
with a
wouldn't-
freaking.
We wouldn't even talk with them one-on-one. Like we'd have
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
other people, and I mean 13 and 14. That is their humor. I remember like I walked into a cabin, one of my cabins, and all of them were under the bed, like with their ass out, saying, "Help, step coach, I'm stuck under the bed," and like it was funny as shit. But I'm not gonna respond and kind of be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, let me help you out," 'cause that's f***ing weird. But like it was funny. Like I laughed. But
I'm
like,
really glad you made the right decision there.
yeah. Like I mean, they do that shit. Or like,
So they've obviously seen Stepmom.
yeah, no. I mean, they're 13 years. I had 13, 12, and 13-year-olds, and even at that age,
When I was 13, I was watching.
What?
dude, in middle school, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
all we did.
Also, really, just to hammer in the point that Lava and Chris are close friends, there is screenshot proof from 2020
Get
of
your
them
phone,
being
look on
in
your
Discord calls. There is also proof that Lava received Snapchat messages from Chris in 2019, meaning he must have had her added, and Kris Tyson even has Lava added on Steam. 2018 screenshots as well show Lava stating that Kris Tyson private messaged him on Twitter, and Lava even ended up appearing in MrBeast's Minecraft video as a helper. But something extremely eyebrow-raising was Discord logs in Carl's server from 2020, and keep in mind the two users who we will be focusing on, Lava and Jedi, were both 16 years old at this time. Now, Jedi states that he sold his camper to Lava, and Lava states how he's using this camper to travel to a remote area in the woods in North Carolina to meet Carl and Kris Tyson. Now, Lava states how much he loves Carl, with Jedi stating that Carl simps for him, and that Carl is offering him ice cream and money if he does quote-unquote stuff for him.
It's to the point now for me, this upload anyway, and just the situation in general, where you would think that it's a film, like a thriller action, like a drama thriller that's released in theater. You know what I mean? Like it's not even dog. They're talking about ice cream and shit.
Poster mean. Then Lava asks Jedi why he's coming to North Carolina, and Jedi replies with because and a winky face, and Lava replies with a winky face back. Another message shows Lava pinging Carl and stating "see you Tuesday baby girl," followed by screenshots of Lava's Instagram posts, who keep in mind was 16 years old, with literally Kris and Carl on both of his sides, and a message of Lava stating that Carl hugged him before Kris did. Now I have no idea why a 16-year-old decided to meet up with two people above the age of 20, and why him and another 16-year-old involved in their friend circle is making the entire situation sound so weird and suspicious with all these winky faces. But I don't need to be Einstein here to state that Kris Tyson ultimately befriending someone when they were 14 years old and then making inappropriate jokes to this person and then eventually meeting up with them is extremely weird, and she should probably be ultimately transparent and completely address this all. She should also perhaps address why this child is talking about her hentai addiction, because how would they know this had Kris Tyson not mentioned this to them? And also, why is Kris Tyson adding this child who's 7 years younger than them on Snapchat? But anyway, to conclude this whole drama so far, there is so many questions to answer.
If she never comes back to social media and just creates a whole new life elsewhere, does this even matter? Because it doesn't seem like anything here is technically illegal. Is someone like that capable of just not going online anymore when they've been so online forever? I mean, he could just make up another username and get a gaming account.
Yeah, but people are always going to know what he looks like.
What is a 28-year-old transgender woman gonna do after getting fired from MrBeast with like no other experience? Like, what are they gonna do? He could leave. I don't know what goes through a guy's mental that left his wife and then jacks off to hentai porn, lolly girls, and what he wants to do with his life. So I have no idea. That dude probably will keep watching lolly porn just in private more.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with Kris is that he's just unfunny. Like, I feel like he's like a wet towel on every MrBeast video. I mean, did y'all like him before all this?
I don't watch MrBeast that much. I don't know enough about MrBeast to say. I'm not gonna lie, I've been friends with Brian for 10 years, and if Brian transitioned into a girl and we're still hanging out, it wouldn't be the same.
Maybe you're just not as forgiving as Mr. Beast.
I would still be your friend, but I would think that you would have mental problems.
No, I definitely would. I would be mentally.
I thought you were gonna say I would just think you would want other friends.
Dude, if I transition, what if I transition to a girl and I let you hit?
Oh God,
Brian.
Brian is a degenerate.
Over the past year, Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy, that's his real name, has faced a lot of backlash. And some of it has been very ridiculous, and I have come to his defense many times. Like people saying that him digging wells for children in Africa and helping blind people see again is him just fishing for views and wanting attention and being some sinister white savior. They literally called him sinister. But some of it has been a lot more concerning. And it actually hasn't really been about him. It's about somebody that is adjacent to him. One person who has collaborated with Mr. Beast literally since the beginning, since 2012, before the channel even remotely started to take off, came out as trans last year. This person is named Ava Kris Tyson, formerly just Kris Tyson. Tyson came out last year. Tyson's wife was then served with the divorce papers, and their child was walked out on. And since then, Tyson has only been causing problems for Mr. Beast and his brand. But until now, Mr. Beast has been defending his friend, and he's blown off all of these criticisms as transphobic, of course, because that is what you do in 2024. But now it has come out that Tyson has allegedly acted inappropriately with minors. And so everything has changed. And the way that people online are responding to these allegations versus others that we've seen recently is absolutely worth unpacking.
You know, if Mr. Beast, when Chris did the sex change, came out, fired Chris, I think he could probably get sued under, is it Title IX or Title VII? I forget which one's the discrimination for work employment. He probably could have gotten sued if he fired Chris, and they would have had a good case. So, I mean, I'm not saying you should fire someone because they sex change, but I think that's
he's fucked if he does and screwed if he doesn't.
Yeah, so it's I get why he does defend.
But don't you? I do think that he's defending him mainly because they're just childhood friends.
Yeah,
I mean, unlike Wyatt, who would just completely dump you as a friend if you transition.
I think he would use me as a little slut.
Friendship used to mean something.
The only thing that Jimmy really cares about is his business, and that was the best business move to do. For sure. Is to protect his friend when they're going through a gender transition. So y'all can say what you want. I think it was probably 80% business, maybe 20% person.
Like Vsauce came out and said that it was going to ruin his business because everybody was harping on it.
I mean, I guess if you have some parents that are hardcore Christians, and you got Chandler on there that's a hardcore Christian that does his daily Bible readings, which love Chandler. So, I mean, they have a diversity of people that work for them. It's not because you got Chandler that's a good Christian. Then you got Tariq is Muslim, I think. He's one of the camera guys. He's Muslim. They have a diversity of people. So it's not But let's keep going.
Loads. All right, so all of this started last week when a couple of YouTube videos were posted exposing Ava Kris Tyson. And in them, they had screenshots from a Discord channel where Tyson, at 20 years old, allegedly had been communicating inappropriately with a 13-year-old. And then allegedly, they had later met up when the boy was 16 years old. And people online immediately went on the defense. These claims were immediately labeled as transphobic, and many people just blew them off altogether. But interestingly, just a few hours after this, Tyson deleted his entire Twitter presence, which had already been the center of previous controversies in the last year after people had dug up old tweets that did not show him in a favorable light. And an innocent person just does not do that. You do not wipe your entire Twitter presence of over 14 years like that. However, a wrinkle was thrown into the story when the alleged victim who was spoken about in those videos came to Tyson's defense. He goes by Lava GS, and he said, "These videos are massive lies and they're twisting the truth. Ava never did anything wrong and just made a few edgy jokes. I was never exploited or taken advantage of. Can you do me a favor and comment on these videos and tell them to stop spreading lies? This situation takes away from children who are actively being exploited every day online. I am not a victim of anything being claimed in these videos or at all." And obviously that was a huge development.
I was going to say that this Lava kid could also be saying that because he doesn't want people to know that he maybe was a victim.
Yeah, or he was groomed successfully.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the whole point of grooming is that you don't know that you're being manipulated.
Like who's the CodyKo girls? What's her name?
Tana.
Like Tana, like she said, she was like, I didn't think that I was a victim at the time.
Right.
Oh, what I was going to say is who are these people that, do you use Twitter?
No.
Who are these people that are chemically online?
A lot of people use
on Twitter, but are going through all these threads and just replying. I'm I feel Like, this is not a good life.
We're saying things like this: you've been groomed, man, you're a victim, you don't have to protect these people. Another person said, that's called grooming. You are not supposed to feel like it was wrong. But for about 5 minutes, it seemed like everything might die down. Like that was the only situation, everything can go back to normal. Tyson's gonna go back and make more videos with Mr. Beast. They're gonna keep digging wells, whatever. I mean, at this point in the story, I was already feeling super mixed up, like I had whiplash. There were all of these comments going back and forth. My wires were all mixed up, which would not happen at Pure Talk.
I mean, come on, that was kind of just like that was a good ad read.
It was a good ad
It
read.
was a good ad read.
You got to admit, she
Like,
does good ad reads.
She has ad read game.
Yeah.
Top it all off, the service is fantastic. You will never have your wires mixed up, unlike this current situation, which is just so
nice
hectic.
transition back.
Because the next morning, Tyson dropped this tweet. I would like to apologize for any of my past behaviors or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. That's just like the classic apology. You're not actually apologizing for doing anything wrong. I'm sorry if you were offended by what I said. I'm not actually sorry for it. I'm just sorry for you. That's basically what Tyson is saying. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided that it's best that I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and my mental health. I personally would have been focusing on my family and my mental health long before this in your situation, but hey, that is just me. But hey, maybe Tyson did see this as a wake-up call, just wanted to take a step back. But no, we only had 5 minutes of believing that, because later that day, more bombs dropped, allegedly. And this is when people started making comparisons to Dr. Disrespect, who was in a very similar situation just a couple of weeks ago. We did an episode about that. We can link it below. And there's a lot of similarities between these two situations. But contrary to the Dr. Disrespect scandal, we actually have texts. Allegedly, with Tyson, we have the evidence. Allegedly. And that is what dropped right after Tyson and Mr. Beast mutually decided that he was permanently going to step away. So first of all, accounts were quick to post old tweets, like this one where Tyson talks about off to a type of anime where women are portrayed as little girls. Tyson said, nothing gets my cranking like some... And then another streamer, who goes by Keemstar, took to Twitter to talk about the fact that Tyson consistently supported a child porn artist who had drawn Keemstar's daughter. He tweeted this and said, Kris Tyson supported the cartoon artist Shadman that drew my daughter at age 8 in a sexual manner. This is a known fact. Privately, me and Kris Tyson even had a conversation about this roughly a month ago, as it still upsets me. This is not misinformation. This is a fact. And Keemstar has a lot more information about this, about that artist. If you go to his page, you can read.
What was that conversation like? Like, hey man,
you remember when you did that thing?
when you had porn of my daughter, like that drawing of my daughter, and not cool.
God, that would make me so pissed off. I don't even have children.
I would kill him.
Yeah, right? Like that would just put a fire in me.
I think what's fucked up with these people that have like in their head is like, I feel like they're trying to rationalize since it's a drawing, it's not real life, so it's not really your daughter.
Yeah, but a drawing.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like these fucked up people are trying to rationalize that.
Yeah.
And that's how they get away with it. Oh, not get away, but that's how they like make sense in their mind.
A drawing is literally a depiction of reality.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's not that far off. Look at AI, look at deep fakes. That's kind of the same thing as a drawing. Because it's not real, that makes it okay. No, it still looks like the thing.
That's a good point.
No, exactly, and I agree. And I just think these people like that's how they rationalize it. They think they're like, oh, it's a drawing, so it's okay, and like, which is
ridiculous.
All of those tweets. It is a wild and just sickening story. And this is somebody that Tyson was standing behind for years. But that's not all. Next up, this account compiled even more of this evidence, alleged, and said, Kris Tyson from Mr. Beast is far worse than Dr. Disrespect, but the so-called influencers haven't said a word about it. Number 1, Kris had inappropriate conversations with several minors, allegedly. Number 2, he used the N-word with hard R on stream. Number 3, provided revenge for kids, allegedly. Now in this post, screenshots of the texts and the messages and conversations between this minor and Tyson. He had clips of him saying the N-word and a lot of things on streams with minors.
Yeah.
Ava said the N-word?
Yeah, so on stream.
Bro,
yeah.
Kris is checking all the boxes. Yeah. Transgender races?
He really is.
What's going on? Are you PC or not?
Yeah.
But what shocked me the most was number 3, the revenge porn. Years ago, on Tyson's YouTube channel, this was uploaded.
Recently, everybody's been hearing about the Jeanette McCurdy leak of her photo. What the story is, she sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out. But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private.
Yeah, you are.
Right.
I mean, you're not getting paid, but
he's like, see how young he looks? Like, I think he's just really immature.
Yeah.
For revenge?
No, no. He try and keep up, Brian. He looks like he's like 20 in that picture, but he looks like a kid himself. I'm not trying to defend the guy. I'm just saying he's clearly very immature.
No,
I mean, look at him. But Dad, there's a reason that when you turn 18, they classify you as an adult. It's because when you're 18, you're old enough to have your own thoughts and without the need of parental supervision. So for him to be 20, like I'm just saying, I can't imagine being 20, and I couldn't think of Brian doing the same thing, uploading a video and saying, "Oh, and by the way, the person I'm talking about, the nudes, y'all want to check them out? They're down there."
No, I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it at all. Well, I'm just trying to provide an explanation because I'm not defending the kid. I'm just saying he looks like a kid, like himself.
Yeah, and this kid.
A business, but I know that people might want to see him, so it's there if you want it.
I'm not endorsing people going and looking at somebody else's private business, photos that have been leaked by an angry ex-boyfriend. But yeah, let me link that in the description below because you might be interested. Are you kidding me? All of this is just absolutely disgusting behavior. And then to really top it all off, because we're not done, a different young man uploaded this.
Kris Tyson from MrBeast used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hentai videos throughout the time of me talking with him. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes.
And this is a young man who, like you heard, was in Tyson's inner circle, was in the Discord, was doing work for Tyson, idolized him, gamed with him. He has all the receipts of him working with Tyson. All of that is at the beginning of the video. But I mean, Tyson is done. And by last night, MrBeast finally released a statement. He said, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure that I have all the facts. That said, I have seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings." Yeah, mutual decision to permanent.
I was going to say, pull up the picture of MrBeast staring at the picture.
Yeah, right. He's like, no prior knowledge.
Yeah, he's staring at the guy on the wall.
But what I do want to talk about right now is the online reaction to all of this, because like I said earlier, this has been drastically different to the response to Dr. Disrespect. I mean, he was slammed by the mainstream media. Meanwhile, here's an example of a headline that was just run about Tyson. This is from Rolling Stone. Ava Kris Tyson steps away from all things MrBeast amid transphobic attacks.
Are you fucking kidding me? The Rolling Stone posted that? Oh my God!
I know the writer at Rolling Stone who wrote that article, and she's very much a social justice warrior. And Rolling Stone, if you go deeper, his name's Matt Bahibi, one of the editors at Rolling Stone, and he left because it got too liberal, and he created a Substack and is now making millions. And he's the one that came out with the Twitter files for Elon. This is all connected.
I just think it's ridiculous that if I ever get in trouble, I should just chop off my dick. So people will not it's transphobic.
I mean, it's honestly not a bad option. Like, if you ever go to prison, just say you're a woman.
It's not, what? You would just get raped even more.
No, because you get put in the woman's prison cell. Do you not see that?
Oh, really?
Okay, I might get fact checked, but I think in California, you might be able to do that.
There's no way. I mean, I would do that. I would go to prison intentionally, say I'm a woman, and then just hang out with a bunch of chicks.
Because that would be awesome to hang out with a bunch of criminal chicks. I don't know what you're imagining. It's like they're not like
they're all gonna
supermodels.
be dykes, dude.
Yeah, they're not gonna be these glamorous In California, they're all in bathing suits and they throw a volleyball at lunch.
Gavin Newsom, California, right here. This was in March 26, 2024. Wow. Allows male inmates, including convicted sex offenders, to declare themselves women and be housed with females.
Well, there you go. If you're going to do a crime, do it in California.
That's what you want to label it as? Tyson was accused of grooming a minor. The alleged victim, now 20 years old, refutes the claims. So allegations of grooming children is now just a transphobic attack? I don't think that's the dunk that you want it to be. I would maybe reword that. Just a piece of advice for you. Just saying. Now, on top of that, other streamers who were quick to attack Dr. Disrespect are now wanting to wait until they have more of the story. They want to wait until there's more evidence, even though the evidence was already out there when they posted these tweets. Pokemon tweeted and said, "It's a shame that people will see this as an opportunity to attack the trans community as a whole. One person's actions does not reflect on every single trans person, so please don't view it that way." That's what you're concerned with right now? Another streamer said, "I'm still in the process of moving, so I haven't been able to fully keep up. But in the meantime, since I've been tagged a bunch, pedophiles are bad. Trans does not equal pedo. The actions of one trans person does not mean all. Sucks to see so many anti-trans people act as if it does. I'm hoping that Ava speaks up. Dr. D is still gross." Lastly, to the incels that only tagged Pokey and I to speak up, even though everybody did after D did himself, you're weird. Focus your hate towards the for once. And this is in stark comparison to the tweets that they made about Dr. Disrespect. There was no excusing it. There was no, "Guys, let's just wait, innocent until proven guilty. We have no idea. He's a good guy." Nothing like that. It was just Dr. Disgusting. Yuck. This is terrible. What an awful human being. Those types of tweets. And all of this is because Tyson is part of a protected class. Dr. Disrespect, a straight man who has spoken out against a lot of this nonsense, is certainly not. And that determines how the situation is handled in the public eye, as many of these commenters pointed out. One person said, "Dog wasn't shielded as a protected class. It'd look bad to sponsors to challenge the alphabet mafia, even if it is justified accountability." Somebody else said, "One's a tall, straight white dude. The other is a trans, so indeed the hypocrisy is there." Another person said, "Not only that, they're already sweeping for Kris Tyson, despite the fact that there is more specific evidence against him than there was against Dr. Disrespect. Allegedly. The difference is that Kris Tyson is woke. The doc isn't." Absolutely spot on. I mean, the hypocrisy is just glaring. Now, Tyson absolutely deserved to be fired, and this should be investigated. I'm glad that Mr. Beast is doing that. And Tyson should be focusing on his family and his mental health. And I think that part of the story goes without saying.
Well done.
Wow, I love her.
That's what I'm saying. That's my girl right there.
That's my girl.
Guys, she just got married.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Or she's about to get married.
Fuck. No.
Fuck.
Yeah, sorry to tell you.
I'm going on Instagram section.
6.2 million. I checked his account yesterday and has 5.9.
YouTuber, content creator, podcaster, he DJs now. And the reason his name's popping up all over the place right now is there's this massive wave of pressure for him to address allegations that he had sex with Tana Mojo back when she was 17. But those allegations reportedly just kind of simmering quietly in the open for a while, but then they started making waves earlier this year when Tana mentioned it on her podcast. But really, this whole situation's blown up in the last 24 hours after D'Angelo Wallace made a video about it, and it's prompted a ton of discussion online. And we'll start with some of the claims at hand, right? So a lot of this first started getting attention last month when Tana did a live show of her podcast and said,
"Who's the smallest dick you ever had? Oh my God, did no one look at me, CodyKo." Delete the video. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that. What?
Right, and once that clip made it to TikTok, people started doing the math, realizing that if Tana was 17, Cody would have likely been 25 at the time. With Tana herself then further clarifying the claim on her podcast later in June, saying, yeah, people did the right math.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime. I hooked up with CodyKo when I was 17 and he was 25. When I look back at the Cody situation, I definitely am like, why was he doing that? You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me. And that's bad.
Right, with Tana saying that she was such a big fan of his, and as an adult, it's easier to look back and say she was taken advantage of, but she's not sure she felt that way. But also saying that even though she doesn't feel traumatized, she knows it's wrong, with her then going on to Trisha Paytas's podcast and adding.
But at the same time, like, if I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something, like, I would kill.
Well, seemingly all these things got certain pockets of the internet to pay attention. I mean, the situation did not blow up the way way it has until yesterday, with D'Angelo posting a video titled An Uncomfortable Conversation about CodyKo, which racked up over 1 million views as of this morning, with him going through these allegations and condemning Cody for not addressing them, with him noting that yes, right now they're just allegations, but they are serious, and D'Angelo further arguing that Cody has every right to share his side of the story, but so far his silence makes him look really bad.
Even if what Tana says is false, your silence is still grossly incompetent at best. Why are you choosing the path that would be your only option if you were guilty?
With him also pointing to some of the responses people have seen, which include people trying to dismiss Tana's claims by calling her a liar or saying that she's doing this for attention, and saying
the person has tried to come forward about her experience and has been met with the most vitriolic victim blaming I've seen in years. She's been dismissed, discredited, and disbelieved before anybody ever gave her a chance. Because it's Tana, which sets a horrible precedent that if a person runs out of goodwill, they lose the right to come forward with their experiences.
And that's actually something Tana touched on during her own podcast.
I have seen so many comments of people like on some like, but what was she wearing? And then I just like, I feel so bad for all of these young girls because then they see that and then it makes them not want to come forward. And then I am like, wow, everyone.
Yeah.
Like seeing people not believe you is so crazy.
Right, and there she said, if she had more public favor or even if Cody had less, the responses would be totally different. With this, you also had D'Angelo saying that it appears Gabby Hanna previously backed Tana's story. Tana saying that Gabby kind of witnessed this and tried to intervene, and D'Angelo saying that he found an old clip where she told this story.
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage. Watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
And so the responses to all this have been massive. People slamming Cody in his Instagram comments. And folks on Twitter are saying things like, people being okay with CodyKo hooking up with an underage Tana because it's Tana is actually disgusting and further plays into the idea of the perfect victim. Someone can be a terrible person and still be a victim. Her controversy does not take away what he did to her. Now there you also have some.
What is her controversy?
She she threw some sort of conference called TerraCon, and she wasn't prepared for how many people were coming, and it was a disaster. She's kind of a slutty Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy.
She's been known to lie. I guess people say she lies a lot about stuff.
Yeah.
But
she made sense there.
Well, I mean, Cody hasn't come out talking about it, and I mean, it sucks because like I grew up on CodyKo. I loved his Stats Cringe video.
We watched him a lot.
I subscribed to him. And there's an old podcast clip of like Noel talking about how like Cody was how they're saying it's gross for like 26-year-olds to hook up with like 18-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
I don't get why you would do that if you know she's 17. That just doesn't make sense. Like he's a good-looking guy. Like he doesn't need to hook up with a 17-year-old. Yeah, like he can get another hot girl if he want. That's just
This is no excuse at all. I was about to say you probably didn't know she was 17, but actually that girl just said that he told her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So what's different from like Chris is like, besides like Cody actually like having sex with a girl, but like Kris Tyson looks like he's into like 14-year-olds, like younger.
Yeah.
CodyKo's like into like girls that look like women, but like why would he sleep with a 17?
Exactly. I think Chris's situation is actually
creepier.
Right. Cody's is just more
illegal.
Morally wrong. Yeah, and it's illegal.
Think of that. That's kind of fucked up. Like what Chris has done is not illegal as far as I can see.
Right.
And yet what Cody's done is allegedly demonstrably illegal.
I think that's where we maybe should rewrite a couple laws.
The problem is
I'm not
the First
saying to
Amendment.
lower the age of consent. I'm saying to make whatever Chris did also illegal.
I just think with law, that's like, because you got to think about when you take it to court, what can you prove? And if you're trying to prove messages between, is this sexual, is this not? We have so much slang, we have so much innuendos.
Yeah.
That's just a lot harder argument to prove.
I think contributing to the art of minors being nude should be illegal. Contributing, watching, buying, looking at,
Yeah,
I agree.
That's why watching CP is illegal.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, when you think about on law, like most law students will tell you, it's like you got to think about the extreme ends of law. So you think of art of minors and be like, should that be legal? But what's an interpretation of art? Art, it's not a real person. It's not something real. So are you going to get sued for a case of you drawing? Maybe, like, think about the statues in Rome. Right. Could you potentially get sued for drawing a naked statue or creating a statue of like a Roman goddess, and someone saying, "Oh, this is a minor"? Like,
right. Nobody's. I think I've seen a video. Nobody's really litigated the fake CP drawings yet. I mean, it could be considered lewd, but there's just no precedent for it, so it's out there. Yeah. But like you said, how do you decide what is actually? I mean, it's one of those things where if you see it, you'd know it, but how do you codify that in law?
We have judges for a reason. I think if something is controversial in that sense, it should be taken to court and the judge just decides.
Right.
Case law.
But the biggest issue with that is this is more cut and dry. The law isn't cut in, a lot of times isn't cut and dry. So you'll have people sue over issues if that's like encompassed in law because you open more things over issues that maybe aren't as cut and dry. So just like regular nudes paintings or something.
Right.
And so that's where it becomes a bigger issue because then you're like, it's not as like, okay, this is, and they're bringing up a case because of this case law. And so now we have it creates more, like it opens doors to be sued over more things or get in trouble over more things.
That's a good point.
Frivolous lawsuits over, you know those creepy family pictures where everybody's like nude and they're like, have you ever seen those?
I don't think so.
I feel like I've seen that where the whole family's nude.
That's
you
weird.
can't see their privates, but they're all nude, like laying on top of each other.
Why would they do that?
I swear I've seen that somewhere.
That sounds.
And you were saying he's creepy. This man's looking at family portraits in the nude.
I wasn't looking at it. It was blasted to my eyes.
I wasn't looking at it. Wyatt, rewind 15 seconds when he says, I swear I've seen
that somewhere. No, it was looked upon my eyes. I wasn't searching for it.
Okay, so the family in the portrait was looking at him, but he wasn't looking at the picture.
I feel like you're misconstruing my words.
People talking about the age of consent in different states, but regarding that, you had a number of folks countering that, saying things like, a lot of grown adults spend a lot of time trying to, well, actually the age of consent, and it's vile. A 17-year-old is a minor, minors are children, children cannot consent. And even in areas where it's not, quote, illegal, it's immoral and wrong 100% of the time. But ultimately, that is where we are with this right now, though I don't think that this is going to be where it ends. Like I mentioned, this has been getting more and more attention, while D'Angelo Wallace's video on YouTube is just past 1 million views. Over on Twitter, a lot of the clips and the segments have multi-million views. Other big commentary channels are now chiming in, like Moist Critical. One of the big consistent things we've seen are pushes for Cody to actually address the claims. But for now, we'll have to wait to see how all this plays out. And of course, if and when he does, I'll want to update this story, but ultimately that's where we are right now. Let's talk about CodyKo.
So I think just a good rule of thumb is if you're like around the age of mid-20s and younger, just date a couple years within your age range.
Yeah.
I think when you get a certain level of fame, it's just, you get a little confidence in you. You feel like, dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can do what I want.
I think that's kind of was Dr. Disrespect's story.
Yeah, but the CodyKo thing happened before he was big time.
He was still relatively famous like 6 years ago. He was I mean, because he came from Vine. He was big on Vine. And 6 years ago, he wasn't as big as he is now, but he was still like a decent name.
Yeah. So, I feel bad for his partner.
Yeah.
He has a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Chris. Chris has a wife. Oh, actually, they all have wife and kids.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
What's up with all the streamers having wife and kids? And just, I think I need to put my dick in a minor.
Brian, always taking it a little too far.
You know what? My wife's getting a little saggy. Let me go for this person that's studying for algebra.
God damn.
All right. Brian, we're cutting you off.
Yeah. No more tequila soda. Yeah.
It is wrong. Minors don't minors.
I think Wyatt liked that one.
You're just so retarded. If Charlie goes under because of some minor allegations, I would be very surprised.
Who's Charlie?
Moist Critical.
Oh, Moist Critical.
There's no way.
There's no way.
These other degenerates, you can kind of see.
Yeah, I mean, they're just such frat boy douchebags.
Exactly.
They're actually all on the different spectrum. Dr. Disrespect is some 40-year-old dad.
Is he ex-military?
I have no idea. 6'8", 40-year-old dad. CodyKo's kind of a frat boy vibe guy. Then you got Chris over here that loves lollipop and Wants to drag a kid out to the woods.
Fuck, kill, marry. CodyKo, Kris, or Dr. Disrespect.
Okay, I'd fuck CodyKo and I'd kill Kris and I'd marry.
Marry Kris.
No, I'd fuck Dr. Disrespect, marry CodyKo, and I would kill Kris.
Dr. Disrespect be fucking you, dude. He's like 6'8".
Either situation, I'm killing Kris.
See, he has his mind on the wrong.
Yeah.
So, Kris is the one that most looks like a girl. So that ass.
Yeah. I would kill Dr. Disrespect. I'd fuck CodyKo, and I'd marry Kris. He seems like he'd be a good homemaker.
No, you fuck Kris. Don't marry him.
No.
Marry CodyKo.
You marry Kris. I mean, he's presentable. You're gonna marry CodyKo, that frat boy.
I think he can make a good gay husband.
That's true. He would.
He would.
I think Kris would just
And
annoy
he's short.
He'd annoy the shit out of me.
Well, that was an interesting one, wasn't it, boys?
I have no idea what I said, but I'm glad I said it.
Yeah. A lot of landmines.
A lot of landmines. YouTubers, more of the story, YouTubers are fucking weird.
Yeah.
And so check your backyard, check your neighbors. You never know where they're going to be.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Because there's that rabbit ass home again. You don't have to come and confess. We're looking for you. We gonna find you. We gonna find you.
Have fun editing this podcast.
I know. We got the half drunken retard and the fucking stone goober over here. All right, well, that was another episode of Dog Party. Rough. Anyways, guys.
Kids shouldn't touch penis as well.
God.
You could touch your own. Wyatt certainly did a lot when he was a baby.
Stop! Never having you on the pod ever again.
This was amazing.
He wants to keep going.
I just want to say I'm so thankful to be here. Met a lot of good people. I really just found our conversations fascinating about the CodyKo, Dr. Disrespect, and Kris Tyson. Those were just fascinating conversations. I really was glad we were able to grasp the whole situation on this.
Wow. Thanks, Ludwig.